Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be doing an essentials of EDC video today, and this is going to be about much more than just a specific tool. We're going to talk about a lot of things that you may or may not have thought about or forgotten about when it comes to carrying around and keeping yourself protected in more ways than one. Now, it has been a few weeks since I filmed a video because I was on vacation, so if I stumble and mumble, it's because I'm a little out of practice. But the key areas we're going to focus on today are going to be clothing, training, mentality, and self-care and protection. And that's going to go into not only physically, but liability, legally, and monetarily protected as well. Before we get into all of that, we're going to pay the bills real quick with the help of Hidden Hybrid Holsters. They're a longtime supporter of the channel here. They make that sweet suede back, leather, and Kydex front hybrid style holster to fulfill all your needs out there. Comfortable for all day carry. They've got you covered, tons of options. Check them out at hiddenhybridholsters.com. Well, let's jump right into the first one, and that is going to be clothing, specifically starting with a good solid belt. Now, there are a ton of options. This one specifically is a Core Essentials belt. They are very nice because they have those ratchet designs, right? So you can do minimal adjustments on the fly. Say you've eaten a big chimichanga for lunch, you can give it just like a micro adjustment out to be a little bit more comfortable while you're carrying inside the waistband or something. But there are a ton of options. One of my other favorites is my Blue Alpha hybrid Cobra buckle belt here for EDC. Smaller end on the Cobra buckle here so you can get it through your pants. Super durable. These will last you a lifetime. They're not too expensive and they're sturdy enough to hold up pretty much anything. If you're interested in any of the stuff we talk about, I'll either leave links down below or at my website at the parts list and all that. Another one I use a lot in the hot Arizona summer for minimal EDC is my little Groove belt here. It's got a magnetic buckle on there that locks and hooks in. I love it. It's light. It's very, very thin. It is not obviously as strong as the other ones, but if you're carrying something like a 43, that's really good in the summer times when you're wearing just super minimal clothing. Now that belt is going to support the weight of everything, and it's going to help you keep everything where you want it and ultimately make you safer. Things aren't going to go flying all over the place should you have to like exfil an area really quickly or run away. This next item is something people try to skimp on every single time, especially my newer owners out there. Now, whether this is a knife or whether this is a pistol, whatever you are carrying, you need a good holster or you need a good scabbard or a good locking mechanism, right? Because if you're carrying a good solid pocket knife like this, you need something with a solid locking mechanism so it doesn't close on your finger, okay? If you're carrying something else, a pistol, you need a good solid holster. This is the Tier 1 MSP. I love it because it attaches to the light so you can carry all kinds of different stuff in there and just have one holster. There are a ton of options out there, a lot of great companies. Just get one that's good quality and has a good reputation out there. Don't buy that like nylon special at the show. And I know it's tough because you probably didn't budget for it, but expect to spend at minimum probably like 50 bucks. Or if you're gonna get into something like this, it's gonna be well over 100. So budget for that prior to getting your item because you don't wanna just stick something in your waistline. That's just not safe and it might take your naughty bits off. And then there are other items like a tactical Sharpie right here. So take the lid off of that. You can see that's actually a polished stainless steel tip on there. And trust me, it's plenty sharp and is a great self-defense tool that really looks benign, but it's got a cap, right? So that's your safety, much like a holster or a scabbard for your knife or a locking mechanism so your folder doesn't close in your finger. Take a digit off, have something that is safe while you're carrying it. And the last one under this is going to be appropriate fitting clothing. If you're trying to conceal something, make sure you're wearing the appropriate clothing. Now I know for my ladies out there, they make yoga pants for concealment now and all kinds of cool stuff. But if you're wearing, you know, skinny jeans and a super suction cup tight shirt or something, you're going to be showing off everybody in the world what you're carrying. If your shirt is super short and you're trying to carry in the waistband or in the small of the back or on the 3 o'clock position, you bend over and all of a sudden everybody sees what you have in your belt line. That's just not good. So dress to what you're carrying. Like I said, that's why I have different belts because I wear different sizes of items, different weight of items. So I might have to wear a heavier belt that day or a lighter item, wear a lighter belt. But if you can't jam yourself into your pants, you're probably not going to be able to jam anything into your pants with you. And I don't mean offense to anybody on any part of the clothing thing. Just make sure you're dressing to the occasion. The occasion is carrying something you don't want people to know you are carrying. Moving on to the next one, it's going to be training. And at a minimum, no matter what item you're carrying, you need to know the laws. You need some form of legal training, whether you're going to a class or whether it's an online class or something. You need to understand the laws of where you're at, where you could be at that day, what buildings you're going into, all of these things, because if you walk into certain buildings that are city or federal owned, laws change the minute you cross the threshold or even enter the parking lot. So you need to understand these things, and you need to make your decisions and your choices of what you're carrying on you according to where you're going or where you're going to be. Because you drive over the state line, you could be in some serious trouble. So always know the laws and know the difference between your county and your civil stuff like that. And we're going to get more into criminal and civil in just a little bit. Now, that next one is going to be where you're actually out there training those safety manipulations drills, practicing your skills, all of those things. They're going to build your skill, learn new skills, make you more confident and more safe out there with whatever it is you determine to carry. And the last thing that falls under training here is going to be movement and aftercare. Think about this. Oftentimes, movement is associated with life. Okay, you may have to get out of a scenario, or if you've just been in a fight or something like that, you've got to get out of that area, whether it's walking, running, calling for help, jumping a wall, whatever you have to do, you've got to get out of that area. And second is going to be that self-care. And then there is aftercare. So if you've taken holes or put holes in somebody else, you might just own that, especially if it's your own person. You need to be able to take care of yourself, both mentally, physically, medically, all of these things. And we'll talk a little bit more about the mentally and the financial aspect of this here in just a minute. All right, the next main subject is your mentality, your mental state. And a lot of this can be summed up by don't be a dick, okay? Don't go looking for a fight. Don't be looking to be the tough guy or girl. Just remember, you're out in the world. You don't know who else is out there. You don't know what they have. You don't know what they're carrying. You don't know what their training, their experience is. Go out there and just be a good person. And don't ever forget, you can walk away or heck, even run away if you need to escape a bad situation. If you can find an exit to a scenario that you don't want to be in or that is unsafe, you may as well take that exit. Now, when you're backed into a corner and you got nowhere else to go, the time to fight, you'll know it. But for the most part, we can avoid confrontation. Again, don't be a dick and don't have too much bravado that you can't exit the area either. And that leads me to the next one, which is think smarter, not tougher. Now, you may be biggest, baddest, toughest guy where you come from. You can walk through any alley and beat anybody down, but that's not smart, okay? Avoid sketchy areas. Don't go down the dark alley. Get out of the bar before everybody's completely drunk and inebriated and starts getting in fights. Think smarter about what you're gonna do, who you're with, what you're carrying, and what your plans are for the night. Just avoid the confrontation. And the last one under mentality is PTS is real. So if you've ever been in a use of force encounter or had force used on you or been severely injured or injured somebody else, that stress that comes with that, that's real. And just remember, you may need to mentally prepare for these and discuss these with your family, your friends, before they happen, after they happen, because that's gonna help you prepare mentally and help you deal with the after effects. And that leads right into our last main topic, self-care and protection. And this is more than just the mental, physical stuff here. We're gonna talk about a few different things. The first one being your mental health and your mental state. If you are super angry, super stressed out, and you're dealing with some things already, you really need to think about what you're carrying and if it's appropriate for you or right for you to carry that while you're that mad or angry, whatever the circumstance is, because the last thing you want to do is be stressed out, angry because of some situation. You go out in the world and you get chest bumped by somebody and all of a sudden the fight's on and something really bad happens. So always check your mental state, take deep breaths, drink some water, and just replenish a little bit of that good mental health that you need before you go out into the world. All right, this next one is huge because we find ourselves in cycles of fitness throughout our lifetime. Sometimes we're really in shape, sometimes we let it go for a while, but your fitness is really going to be in tune with your self-care, your ability to make it through a scenario, your ability to recover both physically and mentally, and just your overall quality of life. Whether you're doing jiu-jitsu, whether you're doing boxing, CrossFit, walking, whatever it is, fitness equals health both physically and mentally. If you're ever injured, the more physically fit you are, the better you're going to recover. And the more physically fit you are, you're generally going to feel better about yourself. So really concentrate on that for your self-care. All right, into the protection. The first one is going to be some form of insurance. Now, this is where we're going to talk about criminal and civil because they are two completely different things and they sometimes get intertwined, right? When it comes to insurances, these are things that protect you from liabilities civilly. If there's property damage, something like that, somebody tries to sue you. And this is where different companies try to sell you a coverage for concealed carry or something like that. and they try to kind of mire that or guise that with some form of law coverage and legal coverage if should you get in an incident and get charged. But insurance companies are insurance companies. They can't cover you if you're charged with a crime or convicted of a crime. So be very, very careful what your understanding of those are, because you may need both. The insurance style thing covers you if you are sued, because if you get in a use of force incident, say you don't get charged by the prosecutor, you could still get sued civilly by that person or their family. That's where insurance comes in. Now, depending on where you live, you might want to really have some legal protection as well. And there are different entities out there, whether it's a prepaid legal service, one that are specifically meant for gun owners, ones that are under different organizations where you work. There's just a ton of them out there, but this is the one where you get a lawyer, right? Should you be charged criminally, because there are prosecutors out there all around the United States who will charge you even if you're completely in the right. And then you have to go to court and prove your innocence, which is completely backwards, but that's kind of how things are going these days. Now, the insurance things, you're going to get a customer care agent on the phone. When you have the legal protection, you're going to get a lawyer on the phone. So you might want to look into both, but at minimum, I would say have a lawyer in your corner before an insurance company. Hopefully that helped a lot of you out. Remember, it's not just as easy as going down and buying a new tool, whether it's a knife or a pistol, carrying it and thinking you are good to go. There's so much stuff you have to take into account, from the mental, the physical, monetary, criminal, all that stuff goes into account. Now, if you're interested in any of the stuff you saw here today, I'll leave links for that down below, or you can check out tacticalconsiderations.com, my website, where I can post every single link on everything I've done, because we can't post everything here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you forgot one of these, or if you maybe didn't know at all, because I'm really curious to know where my audience is at and where especially our new owners are at out there. So subscribe, leave that comment, like the video, share it with a friend of yours, get out there on the range, have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.